Hi, hello, namaskar. This is your host Sarang, and welcome to another episode of One Story at a Time. In this episode, we have Kiran, who is one of the founding members of the very famous escape rooms in Bangalore. And presently, Kiran is the co founder at a startup called Xobox. So, Kiran, hi, and welcome to the episode.
Hello, hi Sarang. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, Kiran, funny story. When I told my friends that I was interviewing you, and you are one of the founding members of Escape Rooms, all of them were excited because we had an amazing time in Escape Room, and I think that's a brilliant concept, especially for folks in Bangalore. I think I'm sure you would have got this a lot, but like hats off to you, man, for bringing escape rooms to Bangalore. So let's get right into the podcast. So you're now an entrepreneur. You started like any other person who went into corporate, then wanted to become an entrepreneur, and you've had your fair bit of ups and downs. So quickly tell us about your student life, your corporate life, and you how you moved on to the New Jersey. And yeah, I mean, like, give us your background story.
Thanks so much, Sarang, for having me. It's a good opportunity to tell about my story. I'm basically from a town. It's called Chenpatna. It's a toy town of Karnataka. And I come from a middle class family. My father is a teacher. And we are more into very conservative the style of lifestyle. And while studying, it was more about studies and studies. And since we live in a town, not much of extra curricular activities, not so much. So just go to school, come back and study. That was the main thing in the school life. So I did my schooling and the college, everything in town, in the same town. And luckily, after I finished my engineering, computer science engineering, my sister got a contact from somebody to sponsor my visa. And my
Okay.
father, a teacher, and he was a journalist also. He wrote a letter at that time. It was in 1999. So he wrote a letter to them, and then they accepted, and then they said, "Yeah, we're going to sponsor the visa." And I went to USA to start my career. That was my first job. So
Right.
it was completely different from the complete introvert to exposing to the US environment, and it took me into a totally different direction. And that was the first job. That was the first salary. I landed in New Jersey, and we were supposed to stay with the other consultants in the same house. And
Right.
then we used to take interviews to get the job. I was so confident that I can get the interview cracked, and I got a job. I moved to Virginia. I was
Okay.
working. Then I moved to Orlando. AT&T is my another client,
Hmm.
and I spent about 5 years in AT&T
Okay.
straight, and it was all fun. I was in my 20s. It was all fun. I never expected that anything I should consider thinking about to doing anything other than the corporate and the
Right.
fun, which I was exposed newly, freshly. I did not think about that. So, never thought about any kind of a business, meeting anybody related to the business. Nothing happened at that time. It was all pure fun. Maybe it was completely new to me. So, I completely got into that. And also, I was working with a restaurant for some time, like 3 months, because
Okay.
did a consulting with AT&T. I'm supposed to go out so that I cannot claim the employment and come back again after 3 months. I was with the business people and never
Right.
considered thinking anything about the business. So these are all the things happened when I was in US, and 6 years, 6 years continuously I spent on my first visa, and
Hmm.
I did not do my green card. I wanted to come back, and then came back to India again, and so there's a different story here. When I came back, a little bit of entrepreneurship got into me, but I took a break for a little bit, and in that break, it was a kind of an empty space. I don't know
Hmm.
what I want to do. Whether I want to get back to work, I want to see any other option. So that was kind of a blank right there. But when I was at home, I came back and I was in Chenpatna for a
Hmm.
year. I was not doing anything. I used to go and sit in the coffee day. That was the only coffee day, the nice brand on the Bangalore Mysore highway. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
I was spending the time right there, sitting there, and I used to interact with the people there.
Hmm.
And I used to see how the business was, how they were doing the business, and they used to share a little bit of information there because I was familiar face. And one time I got to know that they used to make like a 20, almost 20 lakhs revenue in a month.
In a month.
In a month
Okay.
that time, that was this was in 2004, 2005. So that was like coffee day. Initially, in the coffee day business, it was pure coffee and the drink, the beverages. The food was not so much. So at that time, something got into my head. Okay, so probably I should think about doing something in this line because I worked in a restaurant in the USA for some time, and then my father had a space on the highway side. Then I thought, okay, I think I should do something about that. And I started thinking about that, and then I started working on the plan. But
Right.
it took a really long time
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I knew no business background, and my parents are typically from the school, the college, and the lecture, that kind of work, and they don't want me to do anything else because I studied, went to USA, got some experience, came back. So they were like, okay, hold on a second. Don't think about too much going all over the places.
Yeah.
So that's what happened until then.
Okay. So, Kiran, before we move ahead into your entrepreneurial journey, I have two questions, right? So, Chandpatna is a fairly small town in Karnataka, right? And so, how was the experience in moving from Chandpatna to New Jersey? I'm sure it must have been overwhelming for you, right? So, if you can give us three things that you learned after you moved to the US, what would those three learnings be?
I don't know whether I should say it's a learning.
Okay.
What usually we do, like, okay, I learned this. This is going to help me in the long term, in my future. I just saw that how the country was. When I landed in New Jersey, one of my friends came to pick me up. His name is Krishna. And
Hmm.
it was because I haven't seen Bangalore so much yet at that time.
Right.
I spent the whole time in Chenpatna and Ramnagar, the next town, doing my engineering. It was amazing, and from the airport, getting into the car and going on the road, driving, it was an amazing experience. Completely new. I was thinking like, where is this place? So that's what happened initially, and
Yeah.
uh, this was completely like a U-turn from the town to a city like this. Uh,
Correct.
and after that, what happened was before I went to US, I took a one small class, like a 3 or 4 days class, like a crash course,
Okay.
personality development. So
Yeah.
that gave me a boost to talk to any people because I was completely introvert. I was not approaching anybody. But when I landed there, it was the culture which had welcomed, and people are friendly and they start talking. They started the conversation. So that was the another thing I can mention that it helped
Okay.
me improve myself more. And eventually, I think probably I went on the other side of the introvert.
Amazing. So, you also mentioned that you had no business background, but after speaking with the people in Cafe Coffee Day, you wanted to do something on your own, right? You know, I relate to it so much because I also come from a very humble background without any business experience, and I'm running Innovac from the past 3 years. I had to figure out everything on my scratch, right? So although I'm an engineer, I cannot call myself an engineer. I'm only an engineer by degree. And engineers are supposed to know coding, I mean, etc., whatever. But I'm a non-tech founder. That's what I call myself. No idea about product development, but now we have an app. It's on the Play Store. We have about 1,600 users. So this, I can definitely relate to what you're saying when you said no business background and you have to figure out everything on your own. Maybe uh, the scale is different here. You've done it in a bigger scale, and I'm doing it in a much more lower scale. But no, I can definitely relate to your feeling. So yeah, getting back to your entrepreneurial journey, you had your father. I think he had a space in the highway, and then you wanted to do something with that.
Yeah. So there was a controversy. Like I want to do this, and then they don't want me to do this. This is happening all the time. But I'm more of a very personal. I mean, I can keep a lot of secrets, so nobody would. So I continued exploring this option, and I met a lot of people. A lot of people to at least to take a franchisee kind of a thing. And I want to mention one thing, that I met the MTR. I went
Hmm.
the owner of the MTR, and at that time, MTR not supposed to give any franchisees in Karnataka. That was their rule.
Okay.
Uh, that if it is outside, we can consider that. I considered MTR initially, but again continued because there was no option, and I got connected with Subway.
Subway. All right.
Subway, because Subway was familiar, very familiar, because the 6 years of experience in US, it
Yeah.
was it was a good option for me, Subway, and I liked it personally. So
Hmm.
I pursued that, and they said, "Fine, it's all good." Since I had some experience there, and I wanted to, it would work easily with the cultural thing with the Subway. And they said, "Okay, fine, we'll give you the franchisee," and I'm supposed to go to Delhi and sign the contract and continue doing that. And they were supposed to pitch in about 80% of the investment as a loan.
Hmm.
Uh, so everything was clear. And I broke the news to my parents. This is what I'm going to do. And what they said was like, "Oh, you went to US and had so much of experience, and you came back and you're going to cook." And
Yeah.
uh, like, oh, I think I should have pulled my socks and probably continued working on that. Then I thought, okay, let me not disappoint them so much right now. And I took a different path.
Hmm.
So I can do both the corporate and the business side by side. That's what I
Okay.
thought. Then I started looking for a job. And then once I get a job, then I continue the business part of it. I continue, but it never happened initially. Maybe I was not putting much effort from my side. Things were pulling me in totally in the wrong different directions. But I got a job in HP. I
Hmm.
started, and once I got into the corporate, it was all fun again. It was all good. It was a nice position. I ended my career in HP as a solution architect. I was doing programming, and I got an opportunity to go to Kenya for almost a year. So I got exposed to the other culture. So it was all good with the corporate world.
Hmm.
So far the story is all going good, and also meanwhile I got married, and so job, getting married, and the direction everybody
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the other part was totally out of my head,
Hmm. Hmm.
completely out of my head. No thinking about that. So a lot of other things came into picture. So no, zero. Everything stopped there.
So, but one thing to learn from your journey is that at least you tried, right? You wanted to do something and you gave it a shot with Subway. A lot of founders have a lot of ideas, but they just don't take it forward, correct? So maybe I think one learning to the audience here is, if you want to do something, at least try it, explore it, no matter the outcome. Maybe your parents won't accept, maybe your friends won't accept, or maybe you yourself won't accept in the future. But I think trying is very important than regretting it later. Okay, I should have done this. Why didn't I do it? That mindset should never come to an entrepreneur, right?
I want
So
to one more thing here, that if anybody want to do anything, of course, as you said, they should continue doing it. But in case if they're working, if they're in corporate, be in the corporate and give it your full 100%, and think about what you're trying to do also. Because
mm,
quitting and doing, you may think that, okay, you know what, I want to do something on my own, but I cannot quit my job and I cannot do this. So find a way, that balance, that you keep working so that you're secured a little bit about the finance, and start working on that on the other time, whatever you have, instead of doing all the other fun. Probably get that time, keep going, keep doing that, so that you will be secured, and also you'll be pursuing your personal interest.
correct, absolutely. So after Subway happened, you started working with HP. You went to Kenya, and then what happened? Did you quit? And I think that's when Inception Room, I mean, the escape room started, right?
No. No. So still, what happened then? The people say it's a cycle, goes back and forth. Then I wanted to go back to US again. Lucky,
Oh,
my first visa, what I got when I came back, though that company, they renewed my visa, and it was
okay.
still in
Oh,
2010. It was going to expire in September 22nd,
mm,
2010. So I thought, okay, I told my colleagues in HP that I'm going to quit, I'm going to go back again. So I traveled, and there were 2 days left in my visa
mm,
before it got expired.
okay.
And it was not so strict at the time. During the immigration, they said only you have 2 days left. What are you going to do? I said my consulting company already ready to renew my visa.
Mm,
Okay, they let me in. No more questions asked. I was
okay.
lucky. I was lucky there. Maybe that was the timing. So I went back again to US, and then I started working. In that time, what happened? The earlier plan I had was, when I was with the Coffee Day and thinking about these things. When I go to US again, I'm going to connect with those Indian restaurants
Right.
and probably see some options there to do any business.
Hmm.
Being in H1, there's another part now. Now the question is, being in H1, you cannot do anything else. Again, the whole that plan is completely cancelled. So I worked again for about 4 years there in US, and I just had to come back because my parents were here,
Hmm.
and it was only me and my wife in US. So we came back again in 2014. That is when I thought, okay. Oh, one more thing influenced me was I continued working for my same company in USA as a consultant
Hmm.
from Bangalore.
Okay. Okay.
So I continued from home. I was working with USA and Malaysia. There was a team there. And there, the Malaysian team, they went to, no, US team, they went to escape room there. They mentioned.
Oh,
Then I thought, okay, let me see what's happening in Bangalore. That's when
right.
the whole thing started. So then I started exploring about this, and I started, let me see the option, what's happening in Bangalore, whether I have any space in Bangalore to open this now, and it is already crowded.
Correct.
Bangalore's Bangalore. Everything happens. So I started exploring, and then I see that there was zero escape rooms in Bangalore.
Hmm.
And I researched, and there was one in Chennai and one in Mumbai, and then third one to come to is Bangalore. Then it was supposed to be me. So,
Oh.
and then I pursued, and then I found somebody in Malaysia. And then I went to Malaysia. I spoke to them, and I made a deal. And this was my challenge because it was the first time to come to Bangalore. It's like a challenge. I have to do this now because
Right.
something.
Right.
So that bug got into my head, and I did not leave anything for that. So continued working on that. It took about 3 to 4 months to get everything together.
Oh, that's all.
That's it. And I started working. I found a place in Kormangla, and I started working on the plan, and I started building it. and I did a one grand marketing in throughout the market, throughout the, Bangalore, and that's it. No turning back after that.
Wonderful. But Kiran, tell the audience about what escape room is, because I don't think a lot of people are from Bangalore and they know. But what is escape room? What is the concept?
Exactly. Even after like 8 years now, a lot of people come to escape room. They said, "I don't know, I never heard of it."
Yeah.
So it's very simple. Very simple. When we put almost like six people in the game room, which has a concept already built in. For example, it's a prison break. It's a prison concept. So we'll put them inside as a prison, blindfolded, handcuffed, according to the theme.
Right.
And be given 60 minutes time. In that 60 minutes time, they need to figure out everything on their own completely. Try to figure out how to find the answers through the clues and keep unlocking series of things and find the exit. You have to work with your team, manage the time, and the team collaboration, make decisions. A lot of these team building aspects come into this. That's the reason it become a big hit in the team building area.
Correct. Correct. So it's like treasure hunt inside a locked room, if I'm right.
Exactly. You can say that.
I have one more question about escape rooms. I think I understood the story behind escape room and how it started. What was the impact from escape room? How many people came and enjoyed themselves?
Uh, Initially, we had to wait about maybe 1 or 2 months before
Mm.
people started coming in. But once it picked up, it was a completely new, and people used to get excited about this. And the word of mouth was the best thing could happen to this format. It went on and on. As I was saying, look, 1 to 2 months we were waiting for people to come in, and people uh, used to come in, and they used to get excited about this concept and the game and experience. Experience was the
Right.
big thing here. And then what happened? It was most of the thing was word of mouth. People telling to
Right.
their friends, and a lot of people started coming in. And we went from 200 to 500 to 1,000 to 2,000 footfall every month. It was
Every
yes, month on month.
wow.
So it was good. It was a good option. Then I felt okay. Oh yeah, this was a good thing I picked up. So
Right.
and then what happened after about 2 years? We started seeing the competitions. And before the COVID hit, there were about 14 escape rooms in Bangalore.
Wow.
And after 1 or 2 years, then only I got introduced to Google Ads, because we never used to do the Google Ads because everybody would
Right.
be on the top. So that's when I got introduced to the social media, advertising, those things. Otherwise, it was completely like a traditional, no marketing at all. So it was completely like that.
But it still did very well. That's surprising, right? I don't think it's surprising because the experience speaks for itself. I think when I went, it was about 2 years back, I guess. Um, we were six or eight of us, and we thoroughly enjoyed the experience. Right from entering, and like the clues were simple but yet difficult. Right? It was We had chosen this intermediate level theme, which is Humpy, right? And once we went in, I think it was like a 5 by 10 very small room, and then we had to open another small door. We had to go in and then come out. That the experience was amazing, and we spent about 2 hours, and it felt like 20 minutes,
Yes.
right? And all of us were active, our brains were active, and we were like coordinating. Okay, what is next? What is next? Do this, do that. We were delegating stuff. So I think the experience speaks for itself about escape room, especially in Bangalore. So
Well,
kudos to
what we say people there while briefing, you be dumb as much as possible going inside the game.
yeah.
Don't have all your smartness into the game, because you have everything inside the game room. All the clues are right there. Just make use of it.
Correct. And especially I think it's very important to stay cool, right? If we think of ourselves as over smart, or we are very smart, we won't be able to get those clues proper. right? So we have to be very cool and calm, composed, and then solve it very slowly. I think is that a way to solve escape room?
Exactly. You have to just look around. It's not looking around. You need to observe what are
Yeah.
there, why is it there, and what are the other things which can be related to it. Because just the one
Mm.
thing will not work. You need to find the missing piece of it. When you put them together, then only it makes sense. Otherwise, people, what happens? Okay, I found this. Everybody got the attention. And then what? They'll be start looking around back and forth here and there. They don't find anything. And the worst part is they'll get stuck with it. They'll not continue.
Correct.
They spend there's too much of time wasted there. So that's the worst thing can happen to an escape game. We tell people how to play, but
Right.
it's about how they're being, their thinking, their mindset, their lifestyle. So everything matters here.
Correct. So how did your journey with escape room end? When did it end, and why did you want to start something else?
It did not end, luckily. So
Okay.
the March, the third week of March 2020, we were running the games, and then the following week was the shutdown.
Correct.
So because of that, we had to shut it down, and as it happened to everybody else. So we are not anything different. So then at that time, March, and then from the April time, because it was completely shut down, some completely new thing that you're stuck at home. And from April, the other thing I picked up, it was just a week or
Mm.
few days gap between these two. I picked up about the new idea, what I wanted to continue, because I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe this lockdown thing is going to continue too long. I never
Mm.
expected that. But anyway, this thing happened. I can say my life has been kind of lucky in different stages to get connected with the right people and things happening at the right time. So that's when I started thinking about the Xobox venture.
Right.
That's when it happened.
Okay. So now let's get into Xobox and we'll try to understand what Xobox really is. So how did you identify the problem that Xobox is solving? Or probably before that, what is the problem that Xobox is solving?
Okay. So I live in an apartment complex. And
Mm.
here, what happens when there is a delivery? Most of the time, they leave all the things outside the door, including the milk packet. So
Mm.
that's when it started, because there are a few cats, the stray cats here, and they used to come and destroy the milk packet. That's
Mm.
everybody started talking about this in the group, in a WhatsApp group, that oh, this is what is happening, and we need to take care of this. Stray cats. What do we do with the stray cats? I have a pet,
Okay.
and I like other animals outside. I feed them, and kind of people not liking me what I was doing with stray cats. Then
Mm.
then I start thinking, okay, so what do we do to stop this happening?
Mm.
So we probably want to secure these things which will be delivered to any apartment, left outside the door, secure it, keep it safe, so that nobody have an issue, and the cats are
Mm.
happy. That's when the whole thing started, and so that we thought, okay, so we'll provide the lockers um, for individual houses, individual apartments.
Mm.
That's what the idea we got initially. But when I started researching, these solutions were already there. There's nothing new about it. And people are using it outside in a different format, different sizes, different working principles. So we designed the personal ones, which will be sitting
Mm.
inside the house. And whenever there is a delivery, any delivery, people can access it by pressing the button,
Mm.
and the owner will get a notification, and they can control the opening and the closing of the door. So the delivery can go in and then lock it, secure. We took this
Okay.
idea to IIC because
Mm.
there was application open at that time for the grant program. We pitched that in, and the IIC was happy about taking this, and they got us a grant from MSME government,
Mm.
and so we got the grant to do the POC. At
Mm.
that time, we were calling this as a door dog. That was the first the name what I gave. Uh, but maybe because it was because the door bot, there was a door bot. It got renamed to Ring.
Yeah.
Maybe the reason, because I used to watch all the Shark Tank. I had a few things about that. So it continued, and we did the POC. It took a very long time. It was a lockdown.
Mm.
Availability was very difficult to catch hold of people to do this. And we are three people now. And from the start, from the beginning itself, we are core technology people.
Mm.
And in-house, we designed everything required for these boxes. And we built, and we gave it to a few people to try. And
Mm.
it's still working. Still
Right.
working.
So what I understand is in apartment complexes, there's a problem with couriers or parcels being safe. It can be due to various reasons. So basically, what you guys did is you have identified this problem and you have an individual box to each and every individual apartment in the complex. And that's basically how their packages are secured. Am I right in
Correct.
understanding the problem and the solution?
That's right. That's right. So we were not like we have to work with certain people, certain delivery companies. No, we thought
Mm.
anybody can happen. Anybody can use it. Even the neighbor can drop something to me using this, so anybody can access this. That's what the idea we came up with.
Okay. So, how does the technology work? So, what kind of technology are you using, and how is it different from other people doing the same thing?
So initially we were thinking, we explored. A lot of people, and I think everybody were using the OTP,
Yeah.
SMS, and those kind of things. Then we thought we need to have the numbers, phone numbers, the delivery guys.
Mm.
How do we access? So we were thinking about those operational things, and we thought that let's work it on the cloud. For example, the box has a button. Press the button, the box will be connected with your Wi-Fi, your home phone,
Okay.
and that'll send a signal through the cloud to your app wherever you are, and you press a button on your app so that the door can be controlled. That's
Okay.
the thing we wanted to do it. And though the PCBs were designed in such a way that in future we could use the cameras and speakers and microphones can be introduced in the later stage. But
Right.
initially, this is what we thought, and there were a lot of challenges. There were a lot of questions initially. So simple working principle, even without touching too much, just to press a button. That's it. That's all you have to do, because the social distancing and touch line, those things were happening
Yeah.
at the time.
Yeah.
So simple operation thing.
Okay. And I think from the last time we met, have you guys pivoted? I think it was a different model back then. Now, have you guys pivoted into something else?
Yeah. Then after deployed in three customers' place,
Mm.
realized that the scaling would be a difficult here because it's capital intensive.
Mm.
Pump too much of cash if you want to scale it and give it to everyone. Then we thought, okay, we took a little bit of a pause right there. We thought
Okay.
about it, what do we do? And we built a common, like a rack, locker,
Mm.
6 lockers in it, and let's keep this in a common space
Mm.
and continue the same thing. But the challenge was the adaptation right there, because
Mm.
people want the doorstep convenience. They want to
Mm.
come to the locker and take their stuff. Then what
Correct.
we did was this the technology and the resource combined together.
Mm.
So there will be a lockers installed in the apartment complex in a common. Then the resource, we call them X-Men, Xobox
Mm.
X-Men
Ex-
with them. And what he does is he takes care of the request between the customer and the delivery guys. So
okay.
how does it work right now? Is the customer raise the request through the app that they need a assistance because for any reason, because they're busy, they cannot handle the delivery guy, they don't want to open the door to the delivery guy, they're
Correct.
private, they don't want to see anybody at the doorstep. So for many reasons, let us know, and we take care of the request. Go to the gate, pick up the delivery, even if it's a COD, pay it, and assign a locker to it. And the customer get a notification that it has been received and secured in a locker. And whenever they want, they can let us know through the app, and they can also unlock it. We deliver it to them. So that means customer has the option to receive the package whenever they want, not
Yeah.
whenever the delivery guys ask them to take it. Right?
Right.
This is the difference
Right.
we wanted to bring in with the convenience to the doorstep.
Understood. So basically, let's say I'm one of your ideal users. I'm living in an apartment. So what I do is on the app, I tell the X-Men, ki boss, 6 p.m. a package is going to be delivered to me. Keep it in the box in the common space, and maybe I'll come home at 8 o'clock, and then I'll intimate the X-Men, please bring it to my house. That's how it works, correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
And throughout this entire process, my package is made sure it is safe and secure.
Correct.
That's where the product comes into the picture.
That's right.
Plus the resource, the convenience of getting my things safe, secured, and at my doorstep with the help of an expert. Correct?
Correct. Yes.
Perfect. So this is your current model, right?
Correct. So
Okay. And
we are in one of the apartment complex in Bangalore currently. This is our first deployment. It has about 1,650 flat count, about 6,000 residents in this. These are our potential customers. So
right.
this is where we have implemented this, and also we are doing the delivery already from a kitchen, from a home kitchen.
Okay. Okay.
Since the X-Men is spending the whole time there, what we do is we also deliver this basically done so within society.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Pick up from the kitchen and drop it to their customers inside the society.
Yeah.
And we charge
Yeah.
them. So this is the one vertical of it, and the other vertical, as I told you, that if there is a delivery from the gate, we take care of it, and we met a lot of people there. They welcomed us. Those are the elderly people. They felt so secured. They felt so nice because they got to know our background, why we are doing,
Right.
what is happening, and they were welcoming, and they were like, okay, you know what, come on in, have some coffee, sit down, and there is a big population of the senior citizen in any of the apartment complexes.
Correct.
So we take the request. They used to ask our number. We used to tell them, if anything is required anytime, let us know. We can. And also we created a WhatsApp group inside the community only for this. But we want to be close to the community. We work next to them. We need to understand what their real requirement is, and also we want to bring a barrier for anybody to enter, so that we are known to everybody there.
Right.
So this is what the model we are picking. We are customer centric than the e-commerce centric. So we approach e-commerce or anybody else to start this. So we want to make the customer convenient and understand what we are trying to do.
Got it. And I think this is amazing. Danzo inside an apartment. That's a crazy idea, because out of 6,000 people, I mean, I'm sure the space is huge, the property is huge. If I have to send something from one apartment complex to the other, probably I'll have to walk for 15 minutes, and maybe 30-45 minutes of my day is gone there. This is an excellent strategy, because you already have an expense. Why not utilize him for something else? So another vertical opens up for you in terms of revenue. That, I think we had not discussed this earlier when we met. Okay, I think I have last two questions about the pricing strategy for both your models.
Okay. So here, people used to ask, how do we sustain? How do you guys sustain? How do you guys make money? We were telling them, we were trying to understand the customer mindset, what they are willing to pay for this. So we wanted to do that. So we finished successfully a month now. Exactly month we have finished in this apartment complex, and we tell them, just like any other delivery guys, like a Swiggy and other guys, they have their options for this, the tips, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 30 rupees. We used to tell them, okay, so similar to that, like a tip, we charge you probably like around 10 rupees per transaction.
Mm.
Per transaction. And if you use the locker for the longer time, then probably it will be increased by some more rupees, maybe 5 rupees for the another half a day, and then another one full day, because your things are secured for 1 or 2 days or 3 days until you come back. So that's how
Yeah.
that's inside logistics. And for the e-commerce, so another story is that we have discussed with another e-commerce company, which I don't want to say who it is right now, because the deal is not done yet. So there, what happens? We do the bulk delivery for them. Whichever the delivery comes to this society, we do every delivery, and they have about 18% of the deliveries are failed, which are going back. That we're going
Oh,
to make it zero by using the lockers. We keep everything in the locker in consent with the customer. We work with the customer closely. We tell customer that we keep it safe in the locker. You don't have to bring in the e-commerce company and tell them what is happening here. We have understanding inside the society. We store it here. We make the zero return to that e-commerce company. That's a big advantage for them. And
correct.
whenever they come back, we give it to their doorstep. And also, we also do the reverse logistics. There is one more
Huh.
company, they want to run a pilot with us for the reverse logistics issues. That's going to start.
Okay.
So there also they have issue, and they want to run the pilot and see how it happens. And if it is successful, we're going to be in for the pan India for the same reverse logistics. So
Amazing.
whatever they pay for the bulk delivery charge will be paid to us.
Okay.
With the advantage what they get for that 80% return. So we probably have to
Yeah.
add more than what they
Correct. Yeah.
usually pay for the delivery.
So I think 4 new business verticals have opened up for Xobox. I think that is in a span of what, a week or two, I guess, right?
Yes, yes. Last 2 weeks were so much into it. We got into so much. Oh no, you know why? Because we
Yeah.
panic mode. Like, what's happening? What is happening? I don't know. We don't see anything happening. What do we do now? What is the next thing we can consider doing it? So these thinking over and over and consulting definitely other people taking
Mm.
advice, which opened up a little more avenues which way we can go. Since there is the infrastructure and the resource available, so make use of that in whatever the possible way. So this is what happened in last few weeks.
Understood. And I'm super happy for you, Kiran. Last question. I understand that you're in the pilot stage, but could you give me uh, the number of clients that you have satisfied, or how many people have used it in this entire 1 month pilot? So, is there a number that you can share with us?
I will be honest here.
Okay,
So
sure.
I was talking to one more person asking about there's something happening where we haven't used the locker yet.
Oh,
Okay. So, because the delivery is whatever we are doing inside, that's the pure logistics inside.
yeah,
That's directly from the from A to B. It's happening.
correct.
So now, since we are still telling people how to and what it does and educating them, and it still has to, because people say that you need to have a lot of patience before
Mm,
anything can happen. So we're still waiting, and the next thing going to happen is when we get connected with the e-commerce company, then is the time that we're going to start using the locker, which is our core business.
correct.
But as another verticals, we are meeting about 20 to 25 people every day in our delivery.
Mm, okay, okay.
And everyone, whenever we go, they tell us, okay, we know that. We know Xboxes. We have seen it. So everybody are getting awareness.
Amazing.
We're going to continue doing that. So we're not going to lose patience, because we have found the way forward, which way we're going to approach,
Right.
what is the way to get into this using the core model. And one thing I
Mm.
can tell you straightforward, if it doesn't work, whichever the way it works, we're going to go ahead with that. Pivot, we never want to stop that because we
Perfect.
want to be in the business in that vertical and we are satisfying people. People are happy about it. So we're going to continue doing the best what we can do. That's going to be inside the society.
Okay. Okay. Understood. So you want to solve problems for people in apartments. It can be anything related to logistic, whatever it is.
Correct.
And this is a clear-cut example of I believe in something called um, new age startups are a result of the founder's experience, right? So you experienced a problem in your society, in your apartment complex, and because you experienced that problem, you were able to connect with it and you were able to start Xobox, right? I think your story is a clear cut example of that particular statement. So, one last thing that you would like to uh, tell corporate people who are in corporate. I mean, there are a lot of ambitious people, and I know a lot of friends who are in the corporate, but they say, I'm not able to do this, or I'm not happy. I want to start something else, right? So, how do they do it? Is there a roadmap to do it? Since you have done it, is there a roadmap to do it?
Yeah, but see, I think I failed in that actually.
Okay.
Failed doing that initially because I thought doing the corporate and I'll pick up the other stuff also and do it parallelly. I
Mm.
because probably I was not aware of how to do things. But a lot of time, most of the people think that yes, there's in the back of the mind that I want to do something, but I want to go there and do it.
Mm.
I cannot do the present work. What I do, I have to quit and go do it. That is going to be very difficult because you
Mm.
feel so secured and the salary is coming and you'll be expecting so much of money to be there every month on month. That's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of people say that it's not me. A lot of people say that you don't have to quit. Don't quit. Manage your time. Manage your
Mm.
time very well. You spend how much time on your phone for social media? Spend so much time on the other thing what you want to work.
Correct.
That's enough doing that. So if you set a priority, what do you want to do? Spend so much time, and you will definitely find a way, and keep on getting connected with the right people who can help you, because right people can only take you forward so much rather to
Correct.
going alone.
Correct.
So these
Absolutely.
are the two things you keep doing it continuously and religiously without fail. Definitely you'll be somewhere, and then you'll figure out where you're going to be sticking to, whether it's job or you want to switch completely. So
Absolutely.
this is simple thing. This is simple initial.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Wonderful advice. And it's really nice that you mentioned about finding the right people at the right time, right? And that's exactly what we are solving at Innovact. Just sliding this Innovact advertisement here in the podcast. Uh, so I mean, I also understood that I can't do everything on my own. I need a team with me, right? And that's a problem that me and my ex co-founder faced, and that's when we started to build Innovact Social. But anyway, that was only for advertisement purposes. All right, Kiran, I think a lot of apartment owners are going to be watching this podcast. Do you have a 30-second elevator pitch so that those people can contact
Yeah, definitely. Um, the only few things I want to tell is that what are the benefits you're going to see doing this. We may require a small space in the apartment complex, but what it can do is, I'll give you an example. About 1,000 to 2,000 people enter this gated community because we look for bigger apartment complex, 1,000 flats
you? Right.
and above. There are 1,000 to 2,000 strangers going through the gate every day inside the apartment complex. Imagine calling this as a secured, gated community. Are you doing justice to this? And imagine your kids looking at strangers throughout their playtime outside. Imagine your parents opening a door to a stranger every time. And also, what I've seen, if they're trying to pay the money, right? They don't want to close the door because it's something like, I don't want to close the door on your face, whoever it is. They want to keep the door open also because it's a simple gesture. They want to show it to the delivery guy. They do that, but you never know what's happening in their case. So don't give those opportunities for anyone living in the apartment complex. Make it more secure, reduce the traffic inside, and let people get connected to the people who have values in the company to bring it to the society, real value from the heart, and listen to them, work closely with them, and be there for them all the time. So that's us, that's Xobox. You can consider us, and we want to expand it to most of the apartments in Bangalore before we go anywhere else. So we want to be in Bangalore first. We want to be seen in Bangalore, and then we want to go bigger, hopefully with all the blessings.
Perfect. All the best to Kiran and Team Zobox. Thank you so much, Kiran, for joining me on this exciting podcast. And I'm sure the audience has got a lot to take away from this podcast. All right, guys. That is it from your host, Sarang, for this time. See you next time in another episode. Thank you, Kiran, and bye bye.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
I can walk through